Hello. So what I want to talk to you guys about is Haven. I'm a psychology student at a pretty small school here in Georgia. It's called Lanier Technical College, and it's a good school. There's a lot of really good teachers there, and a lot of good professors, and a lot of people who really care. And what my issue is with is this thing that they've adopted. The program is called Haven, and it's a series of questions, and it's tests you take and lessons and activities you have to do online, and it's mandatory. It's a requirement in my psychology class. It's completely slanted one way, politically, ideologically. It's not good. For instance, as a part of it, you have to sign a contract. Within it, it says, now that you've learned all this, sign this statement saying that you believe it. It seems like a huge intrusion into the students' lives. I felt it was very intrusive. They say it's anonymous. Then why do you need it? Then why do you need to do it? A lot of the information just felt very personal. Stuff that the school really shouldn't be involved with. For instance, your relationships, your sex life, all sorts of things that I just feel they have no business meddling in. So as with all ideologically driven things, it's just completely ham-handed. You know exactly what they want you to say. A lot of the questions on there are multiple choice, and it's like, oh, okay, I know what you want me to say here, so I'll just say it. You got to go along to get along. And when it came to the last part, they want you to sign the thing saying that you understand this, and it's like a sexual harassment policy and everything. I'm not signing it just because all you have to do is click a little star and you e-sign it, and it's just like, I feel like I'm giving away a little bit of my soul when I do something like that. Not because I want to sexually harass, obviously, just because it just felt so ham-handed and silly. And a lot of the stuff on there, fine, I get it. You shouldn't be grabbing people, you shouldn't be touching anybody who doesn't want to be touched, obviously. A lot of it was about things that weren't about that, you know, gender roles and all this kind of stuff, and it didn't feel right. I talked to a lot of the people in my class about it, and they all felt the same way. They said, oh God, that was awful, can't believe we had to do that, but everyone just goes along to get along because that's what you do. I just couldn't do it. Like I said, a lot of the stuff in there is fine. There's a lot of relationship advice in there about your personal relationship. Why is the school forcing their way and teaching people how to be in their relationships? I don't understand. So I went to the company's website who produces and puts out Haven. It's a website called Everfi, and they make all kinds of human resources things for corporations, and maybe they do a lot of good, I don't know, but one of the videos I found on there was all about compliance culture in the workplace. So it's not good, man. It's not good. It's all this super left-wing ideology just kind of permeating itself out into the culture now from the universities is how I feel about it. So yeah, here's what I found on their website.
Ensuring that the members of your team feel valued and respected isn't just a perk of a civil workplace, it's vital to your operations. The well-being of your workforce directly impacts its productivity, and social factors play an important role in that well-being. Diversity, Inclusion in the Modern Workplace is a new online training program from Everfi designed to promote interpersonal awareness and an inclusive workplace culture. Through interactive scenarios and the stories of real people, this course explores the concepts of identity, power, privilege, and communication, laying the groundwork for a dialogue that can overcome differences and focus on those things we hold in common. Every individual is unique and comes to the workplace with their own perspective. By building a shared vocabulary of understanding, you empower your team to collaborate and engage with others productively, respectfully, and ethically. Contact Everfi for a demo today.
So what did we hear in there? Power, privilege, diversity. That's all they want, man. And that's all they think about, because that's all they believe in is power. So that's all they're worried about. Without any further ado, let's jump right in and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about.
No one wants to be put in a box, yet our culture often tries to characterize people using lots of stereotypes. Select the category you'd like to explore, and consider how stereotypes can influence how we act.
All right.
What messages can society send about how to behave like a woman? Click each word to explore how social stereotypes can impact behavior.
I think that if a society teaches women more than men to feel and show emotions, then women are more likely to... I don't think society influences emotional behavior. Well, it does, and so does biology. It's kind of both. Women can overreact, but so can men.
Emotions are totally natural. In fact, recognizing and positively expressing emotions is an important part of being self-aware, communicating, and being an adult. How can people in relationships learn to express themselves effectively when they're feeling excited, scared, angry, hurt, or sad?
Do you think society associates passiveness with female behavior more than male? Yes, women are drawn and taught to be, men and women are equally encouraged to be passive. No, women are mostly taught to be assertive and aggressive. Neither men or women are encouraged to be passive. I don't know. I mean, yes.
In some circumstances, accepting another person's preference, or going with the flow, is appreciated. However, viewing women as generally passive can create the expectation that women will go along with anything if another person takes the lead. This way of thinking could be dangerous if it leads someone to disrespect a woman's choice or exploit her, or if it teaches women to not be assertive in risky situations.
This is so ham-handed. Do you think contemporary culture teaches women that they should be flirtatious and sexy? Women are expected to be, well, I mean, sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Innocent and conservative. Women get mixed signals about these behaviors. Yeah, that's probably true.
There isn't anything wrong with wanting to feel sexy. Yet when women dress sexy or act flirtatious, they are sometimes considered easy or slutty. Similarly, women who do not act hypersexual can be called uptight or prude. Men and women aren't always held to the same standards of sexual behavior. What words do we use to describe men who have a lot of sex? What about women? How do these stereotypes affect intimate relationships or how we view other people?
Do you think society typically expects women to be more nurturing than men? Well, yeah, they are better caregivers, I'd say, temperamentally and biologically, I guess.
Nurturing can be a great trait in relationships. Who wouldn't want to be with someone who is kind and caring and looks out for you? Taken to an extreme, could this behavior lead to tolerating unhealthy, unacceptable actions, such as devaluing others or abusing someone?
I don't think so.
Are you comfortable with the way a society sometimes defines femininity? Make your selection.
No, not really.
Research indicates that most women and men feel constrained and uncomfortable by society's messages and expectations about gender. The next time a friend says or does something that challenges gender stereotypes, you might want to express your appreciation.
I don't know what you mean.
You've explored some stereotypes about women. Want to What messages can society send about how to act like a man? Click each word to explore how social stereotypes can impact behavior.
In your opinion, a society that tells men to be tough encourages men to resist showing emotion, not back down from a fight, work to overcome challenges and adversity. Well, yeah, this is kind of the same thing. Oh, I wasn't right.
Being tough certainly has its place, especially when it doesn't come across as insensitive. Tough can mean protective and resilient, traits that help people overcome challenges and adversity. But have you ever heard words like these used to describe men who aren't acting tough? You're acting like a chick, or don't be such a girl. When these phrases are used towards men, what do they convey about views of women?
Oh, okay. Oh, so we're bringing women into the man side of this. Okay. When it comes to self-confidence, I think society typically teaches men to, you only give 4 choices. Be overly confident, balanced, confident. Well, I think it's important to not confuse your confidence with your competence. I don't try not to express their insecurities. I don't really see these effects. I mean, I'm pretty open about where I suck. I suck at making YouTube videos. How about that? Confidence, not arrogance, is generally a positive, attractive equality. Confidence can be refreshing, inspirational, and totally sexy. So why is it sometimes...
Confidence, not arrogance, is generally a positive, attractive quality. Confidence can be refreshing, inspirational, and totally sexy. So, why is it sometimes challenging to communicate confidently and honestly in sexual situations? Or to speak out against things like sexist language, abusive behavior, or sexual assault?
It's all about sex with these people. Do you think society typically associates aggressive behavior more with men than women? Yes, men are encouraged to be more aggressive. No, women are encouraged to be more aggressive. Men and women are both encouraged to be aggressive. Probably men. Think about it. I know he's going to cut me off, so. Okay. Competitive. Do you think society teaches men to be more competitive than cooperative? Think about team sports. That's competitive and cooperative. Where's men who are cooperative? Yeah, rewards everyone who's cooperative. Yes, nice guys do finish last. Next time a friend says or does something that challenges gender stereotypes, you might want to express your appreciation.
Research indicates that most...
All right, buddy. Real people don't.
Although movies, television, music, and magazines often depict men and women using stereotypes, real people don't typically fit into rigid stereotypes. Recognizing sources of cultural stereotypes is one way to begin to understand how culture affects attitudes, language, and behaviors. And once we've identified how these stereotypes can play into our own lives, we can begin to question and challenge them.
Yeah. Go.
How do stereotypes and other cultural factors contribute to the prevalence of rape, sexual assault, and relationship violence? Drag the negative influences out of this brain to reveal positive personal and community values.
Stereotypical views of gender. Get out of here. Independence, open-mindedness, authenticity. Demeaning language or derogatory jokes. God forbid, make a joke. Awareness, empathy, sensitivity. Sexist and homophobic messaging in movies, TV, and music. They don't seem to have a problem with a bunch of rap. Neither do I like rap. Individualism, integrity, equality. Emotional and verbal insults. Encouragement, support, respect. Fine. Sexual and physical violence.
Do these positive messages align better with your own values?
Some of them do, some of them don't.
In addition to recognizing how cultural factors contribute to sexual violence in a society, it's important to understand how sexual assault impacts a college campus. Sexual assault is any form of sexual contact that occurs without consent and/or through the use of force, threat of force, intimidation, or coercion. Title IX is a federal law that requires schools receiving federal funding to combat gender-based violence and harassment, and to respond to reports to ensure that all students have an equal access to education. The Department of Education oversees schools' compliance with the requirements of Title IX.
Oh, there we go.
It is important to be aware of institutional definitions related to sexual assault. See your school's definition below. Every college and university has its own set of policies and regulations. Take a look at your schools below. If starred, be sure to e-sign to indicate that you have read and understand the policy.
I don't know. Okie dokie, here we go. So I wish I had known what this thing was beforehand, before I started it, because in the first little thing, you get to answer just little questions about yourself. And a lot of them were like, what gender do you identify as, or how do you identify? And there was a bunch of options, of course. And then they asked about your sexuality, and there was a ton of options, of course. And you know what? It's none of your business what kind of sex I have. So, or anybody else's, you know? So anyway, here we go. Their website stinks. It's really slow. Okay. So I'm not going to read it all to you guys. You know, you're watching this on YouTube, so if you feel like it, you can pause anywhere and check it out and read all this stuff. And here we go.
Along with many other things, your academic community values diversity, equality, and safety. Yet, research shows that as many as 1 in 5 women and 1 in 33 men experience sexual assault at institutions of higher learning, and most of them know their assailant personally. When the people you know, family, friends, and colleagues, may be unable to perform at their best because of sexual misconduct and harassment, it's time to make a change. You've come here to study, to work, and to make connections that will influence the rest of your professional life. The choices that you make today will have an impact on your future and the futures of the people around you. This course is designed to help set a positive tone for your community, to help you create an environment free of sexual violence and harassment. Remember, these topics are not limited to your life at school. The topics and strategies we discuss will impact your family life, your work, and the rest of your life outside the university. Let's build safe, positive communities.
What do I value? Man.
Whether it's just hanging out or something more serious, we all want good relationships. But what makes a good relationship? How do our values influence how we act and what we expect from others? Drag the values that are most important to you to the top 5 list. Here are the top 5 values you selected.
Okay.
By becoming more mindful of what's important to you, you can incorporate these values into how you interact with friends, family, dating partners, and members of your campus community.
Uh-oh.
Relationship violence is a pattern of assaultive, coercive, and/or abusive behavior that a person uses to control or dominate a current or former partner. Relationship violence is also sometimes referred to as dating violence or domestic violence. Violence and abuse in relationships can take many forms. It's important to recognize the signs. It impacts more people than you might think. In fact, over 40% of college students have experienced some form of relationship violence. Use the up and down arrows to see examples of relationship violence. None of these are acceptable behaviors in a healthy relationship.
Why are you getting involved in people's relationships? Like I said, y'all can pause it wherever you want and read the stuff if you're curious about the sort of thing that sort of thing that your kids you send to the local college are being, forced to learn.
It is important to be aware of institutional definitions relating to dating violence. See your school's definition below. It is important to be aware of institutional definitions related to domestic violence. See your school's definition below. Click each story to look for any warning signs or red flags for relationship violence. Then compare your assessment to what experts say about these behaviors. Ariana constantly puts Andre down and insults him in front of others. He can't seem to do anything right in her eyes. She calls him out on the way he dresses, the food he eats, and every little word he says. What does this behavior signal to you?
She stinks.
Constant put-downs and humiliation are signs of emotionally abusive behavior. Insults and other verbal and emotional abuse have no place in a relationship of mutual respect. These behaviors can also be indicators that someone could become physically or sexually abusive.
And like the questions and the answers are so ham-handed. It's like, you know exactly what they want you to say.
Malik agrees to attend his boyfriend Brad's work event and fails to show up. Malik later shares he had a good reason for missing it, but Brad says he was embarrassed and asks Malik to alert him the next time he can't keep an agreement. Malik agrees and apologizes. What does this behavior signal to you?
Everyday stuff. It's fine.
People in healthy relationships can disagree and even be upset or angry with each other. What is important is that both people act respectfully, even when they're angry, and communicate their expectations to the other. In this situation, Malik and Brad communicated openly and respectfully about a problem and came to a resolution. Relationship violence often cycles between one or more controlling or dominating behaviors. Sometimes an abusive partner will apologize and change his or her behavior for a short time, but the violence often reoccurs. A person might be experiencing relationship violence if they talk often about their partner's jealousy or possessiveness, express an extreme fear of displeasing their partner, receive excessive phone calls, texts, and emails from their partner, endure humiliating language, or are made to feel bad about themselves, experience isolation from friends or family. Ravi and Michelle's relationship started out smoothly. Ravi was attentive, complimentary, and fun. After a few weeks, however, his attentiveness began to seem overbearing, and his comments were often critical. He was sometimes mean or aggressive toward Michelle, but would later apologize. This cycle continued until Michelle wanted out of the relationship. Ravi, however, refused to let go. Michelle began to reach out to friends for help. They let her know that she deserved better, encouraged her to expect more from a relationship, and supported her decision to leave Ravi, all the while helping her think through plans to remain safe. Fortunately for Michelle, her friends were there to help and support her when she needed it. If you think your relationship may be abusive, know that you deserve to be treated with respect. Communicate clearly with your partner. If you feel safe doing so, let your partner know you are unhappy in the relationship. Reach out to a friend, family member, school resource, or helpline for support. If you need help or would like more information, there is a wide variety of resources available to you.
Someone I can talk to, laugh with, someone who gets me, you know?
Someone who listens to me, who doesn't interrupt me or try and talk over me, someone that I can talk with. I don't want to be joined at the hip. I just want to hang out and have a good time.
I really don't have time for a girlfriend. It would be like taking an extra 2 classes.
Funny, sensitive, smart, kind, but I think funny's number 1. Someone who shares my values. My faith is really important to me.
Someone who loves my friends and my dog.
Trust. Laughter.
Someone who really respects the things that I want to do, the things that I want to become, and who I am now.
Someone I can be myself with.
Knowing what you value and what you want goes a long way in helping you seek out positive traits in other people and build healthy relationships. But can you identify the red flags or warning signs for unhealthy and even dangerous relationships? Sexual harassment is unwanted and unwelcome sexual behavior that interferes with one's ability to perform academically or to feel comfortable in one's school environment. Even if behavior is not sexual in nature, aggression, intimidation, or hostility based on sex or sex stereotyping is also considered sexual harassment. Select each type to learn more.
So it just said, even if behavior is not sexual in nature, aggression, intimidation, or hostility based on sex or sex stereotyping is also considered sexual harassment. I don't know what some of that means. Okay, here we go. So verbal. Sexist jokes, homophobic language, comments about appearance, catcalls, requests for sexual favors, sexual gestures, inappropriate messages or emails, indecent exposure, sexually explicit material, unwanted touching, sexual assault, rape. Yeah, can't argue with that.
It is important to be aware of institutional definitions related to sexual harassment. See your school's definition below. Stalking is also a type of harassment. It can occur inside or outside of a relationship. Select each graphic to reveal some of the facts about stalking.